So, the police just showed up to my house about my 7-year-old son. That's right, my black son. The school is called Crystal Lakes Elementary. Hear me again. Crystal Lakes Elementary. The teacher's name is Mrs. Donnie. Now, I'm not going to put the principal's name out there for reasons on TikTok, but the teacher's name is Mrs. Donnie. So 2 months ago, hear me good, 2 months ago, I received a call from the principal saying that there was an incident at the school between my son and another student. But she couldn't display the information over the phone. Reasons, I don't know if there's like a code reason for the district. Like I said, I don't know the logistics of it, but that's what she said. I grew suspicious and I kept asking my son what happened, and he just froze and he just said, "Mom, I don't know. I don't know." So I continued to email the teacher. I asked her, "Please, can you talk to me?" So finally, after 6 attempts, she finally gets on the phone, okay? And she tells me that my son allegedly touched and was or touching himself in front of another student. And this little girl went and told the teacher, which is Ms. Donnie, and she had to report it to the front office. So I began to ask questions because I said, "Well, I'm sorry, this never happened before. We've lived in this neighborhood for years. This has never happened. Can you give me an explanation as to why this girl feels that my son sexually assaulted her?" So the teacher begins and continues basically saying, "Oh, well, the kids are not really allowed to hug each other like that." And I said, "Well, I've never heard of that." I said, "My son is very affectionate." And I said, "He hugs everybody, boys and girls." I said, "That's how my son is." So I said, "Can you explain why the kids are not allowed to hug each other?" I've never heard of that. And out of all the schools that I've had my son in, because, you know, as a single mom, sometimes you have to move. And like I said, the other schools, I've never had any report that my son has done anything like this or the kids weren't allowed to touch each other. No. So I can tell that it sounds to me like she was trying to accommodate these racist parents that have their children there. And when the parents heard that the child most likely was black, in my opinion, that's when things escalated. Check this out. So 2 months went by. Didn't hear anything else about it. Nothing, not a peep, right? This morning, today, ahora, the police of Palm Beach County show up to my house about my child and had to talk to my son. Now, this wasn't about no touching. They're saying he sexually assaulted this white girl. Huh? So I allowed for my son to talk to the officer because I started to say, "Well, no, maybe we need to talk to an attorney. What are our rights?" And he said, "No." He said, "I have to take a statement from him or he's not allowed to come back to the school campus." What? I told my son to go in the house. I stepped out on the porch and I was crying so bad. And mind you, this officer is black. He turned off his recording and he said, "Ma'am, if that were me and that were my child, I would remove my child from that school. Have a nice day. I will contact the school and I do have to provide the statement to the school and they will let you know what the further, I guess whatever the technical stuff he was talking about, that the school most likely will follow up with me." At this point, I really don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm not from here. I'm from Chicago. We don't go through no shit like that. We don't, because most of the white kids that are, if their parents are racist, those kids are in private schools. Okay, that's Cook County. Those kids are in private school. We don't even have to, white kids in Chicago don't have to worry about blending with us because we live in a whole different, the inner city on the south side and the west side is completely different. Good afternoon and good morning to those that are on the West Coast. Just to give y'all a quick update, and thank you, Mrs. One, for commenting with this information. As of this morning, I have My mom and I have reached out to the superintendent of the Palm Beach County School District. They informed us that they will have a conference on March 31st at 9:30 a.m. I am not sure what they will do. They're not giving us any details as to what charges were charged on my son, if this was for sexual misconduct or sexual assault. We are not sure what this will lead to. Unfortunately, that's about all that we have on that. As far as the officer or the department, we contacted them again and asked, well, why did you need a statement from my child who's 7 years old? Why wasn't this information retracted from him on the school campus? And why wasn't there a school psychologist present when the officer spoke with my son? The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department stated that a crime was committed on campus. They were instructed to investigate a crime. We will have the information or more information once the report is generated. Something doesn't sound right. I know y'all know that something doesn't sound right. Also, the teacher never received and took a statement from my son regarding this alleged issue. The school never contacted us in February about what the next steps would be. I don't know what's happening. Give me a moment. I also contacted Ben Crump's team this morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Ben Crump's team stated that they were not able to help me with this case. They stated that this was out of their scope. I'm not sure what that means, but I want my son's voice heard. However, I want my voice heard as well, because this cannot continue in any state with any child. I have contacted all of the channel news that are here, Channel 25 and Channel 12. They took my statement. I have emails that were sent to them as well. A reporter by the name of Terry Parker for Channel 25 of West Palm. So I'm waiting to see if they'll come out and at least speak to us to see what next steps would be done or how to get help additionally, because this could lead to something devastating for my child and any other child that this happens to. I am not sure why these parents decided that they wanted to accuse my child of a crime. I'm not understanding why the school was not able to handle this properly, but I really need everybody's help. Dr. Umar Johnson, I've sent you an email. Mr. Ben Crump, I've sent you an email. I've sent constant emails to multiple other attorneys that I feel that could help. I don't understand what's going on here in Florida. This does not make sense to me. I need y'all help. Thank you.